Hi guys, welcome back to Elegance by Liz. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz, your go-to realtor and real estate expert in the vibrant city of Lagos. Okay, so I know that many people have noticed that I took a break for a while, and that's because I wanted to re-strategize and make sure my YouTube channel is more vibrant and is looking more realistic to people out there. So I'll sincerely apologize to my viewers for not informing you guys about the break. So today we're talking about something different, and trust me, I've missed you guys so much. But before then, as usual, our sound is there. Relax. Like, whenever we're talking about real estate, you guys will relax. So today we're talking about a very different topic, a part of real estate that is not really talked about, that there are just fewer investors in that part of real estate, but they are earning like massive income, massive cash. I know that there are investors out there that are invested in residential plots, commercial plots, luxury homes, but this particular one, you are missing a lot if you are not investing into it. And that is where we're going to farmland. Farmland. Many people are not investing in farmland because it's either they don't even know about it, or they feel like, oh, can I farm in this generation? Or some people will be like, I can't be a farmer. Or what will people hear about today? What will people say they hear I'm a farmer? But do you know that the world is now modernized? But before we go into that, when you hear farmland, what exactly comes to your mind? Cow, bush, dirty people, animals. But one thing is that owning a farmland is one of the smartest assets you can ever have in this life. Farmers don't go hungry, and they still make their money. Owning a farmland in Nigeria, as of today's economy, is one of the smartest decisions you can ever make in life, because the price of food has skyrocketed, and currently food security in Nigeria is becoming something else. So looking at this opportunity, or should we say looking at this can be a disadvantage to some people and an advantage to some people. And it can only be an advantage to you if you have a farmland, or you are a farmer. And one good thing about farmland is farmland can pay you for years without you lifting at home. Welcome to a generation whereby things are not done with ease. Either you are leasing your farm for farmland to someone, or you are employing farmers to farm on your plant, and when it's time for harvesting, they help you sell and get your money. Or you're working with a real estate company that's into farmland, or partnering with an agro company that are helping you to farm, and at the end of the year giving you your profit when your plant or your farm, when your crops is being harvested. So a client reached out to me last 3 months on Instagram that he saw my advert of one of our farmland I posted on Instagram, and he was like, he wanted to invest into it. And at the time he invested into this farmland, he bought an acre for a sum of 3 million naira and decided to do cassava plantation. And within the space of 3 months, his farmland moved from 3 million naira to 4 million naira for an acre, whereas his cassava plant is now about 3 months old. And one good thing again is during this period, it's rainy season, where it is smarter to plant now, so that instead of wasting money on water, the rain can actually like help you wet your crop or help you water your crop. So now currently his farmland has increased by a return on investment of about 1 million naira, and his cassava crop. And right now there's something we call profit explosion, whereby sometimes food, the price of food or some certain food will just skyrocket. But one thing about this thing is that no matter how it skyrockets, even if it is coming down, it can never go back to a price that is not profitable. So my client currently have a farmland to himself, that in which the land is appreciating and his crop is actually growing. So this my client now, at the end of the year, is going to get more return on investment on his land, and at the same time he's going to get profits from his cassava plantation once they've harvested them and they've sold them. So this is how farmland can work for you. No construction, no unnecessary generator noise, apart from the noise of your caterpillar or tractor, and you are making wealth quietly, I noticed one thing about this current generation is that majority of people in the generation, they don't want to invest in farmland. And why? Because it's not something they can really brag about on Instagram to their friends. It's not something that when that they can, a cute city room, like a short-let apartment. It's not something that they can flaunt to their people abroad because they feel like farmland is a dirty job. Majority of them are actually clueless to the fact that farmland yearly depreciates. It is even quite cheaper than residential plots. You see, my client that bought an acre of farmland for about 4 million naira, 3 million naira 3 months ago. That 3 million naira can practically buy you nothing in Lagos for a residential plot. Even in Ekpe right now, before you see a farmland of 3 million naira, before you see a residential plot of 3 million naira, you have to go all the way down to maybe Omo Ekpe, down to Jebu, and that is no longer Lagos. That is already Ogun State, and you can't even see it for a full plot or a 500 square meter. Maybe that 3 million naira should buy you a 300 square meter or a 250 square meter. But whereas with farmland, you can buy an acre, that is 6 plots or 5 plots, depending on what either the family is selling for you or the real estate company is selling for you. Some sell an acre for 5 plots, some sell an acre for 6 plots, and some sell for 5 plots and get 1 plot free. But depending on whichever one you are buying, your 3 million naira, your 4 million naira that you are saving in the bank can actually get to a farmland somewhere in a remote area. And one thing about farmland is that you don't have to be looking for, close to the road, I want it in a strategic location. Farmland is meant to be down inside the bush where the soil is still fertile. But all in all, now let's get to the best part. What must you do before you invest in farmland? What you should know before you invest in farmland? As much as I'm talking about farmland, and yes, farmland is good, you just don't invest in farmland without looking at some things, without knowing some things, and having taking the right decision before putting your money in farmland. One thing about farmland that is more disadvantage to residential plots. Residential plots, you don't really need to know much about residential plots, provided you know that the property has good documents and good title. But with farmland, you need to know about you need to know about your plants, you need to know about the crop you want to invest in, and you need to know about your farmland location. You can't just buy plots of property anywhere feeling like you can plant there. So now let's get started. One of the things you need to know before investing into farmland is accessibility. Make sure your farmland is accessible. It is easy for a tractor to pass there. It is easy for farmers or marketers to come patronize from your farm. It is easy for vehicles to get down to your farmland. Make sure that the farmland or whatever farmland you're investing into is easily accessible. Number 2 is soil fertility. Soil fertility. How fertile is the soil of that land? You know that agriculture and bad soil don't work together. They are enemies. Make sure that whatever land you're investing, one of the reasons why they call a plot a farmland plot and a residential plot is because the farmland plot, the soil on the farmland is more fertile than that of the residential plot. Thirdly, it is community friendliness. Now, another thing about your farmland is when you're investing in your farmland, how friendly are those in that community? It means a whole lot. Because if the people in the community are not friendly, your farm is at risk, serious risk. Either animals go there to destroy your farm or your crop, or some people go there to steal your crops. So how friendly are people in that community you are investing your farmland in? Then number 4, security. How secured is the area you're investing in? Aside from physical attacks, how about the spiritual attack? Are you sure you're investing in a place that after your farmland grows, it's not like they'll start sending you some spiritual attack, or they'll start putting some spiritual things on your farmland in order for them to take your crop? Lastly, potential for growth. Investing in your farmland, you need, as much as you are looking at strategic locations to invest for residential plots, you also need to look at strategic locations to invest for farmland. Locations like Abeokuta, that's within the Alabata, Axis, Nav Axis. They are good locations. They are strategic locations that you can actually invest for farmland. Looking at some parts in Ijebu, they looking at some parts in Ekpe. Yeah, some parts in Ekpe some people use for farming. So you need to look at strategic locations before you invest in farmland. People will ask, how can I invest in farmland without going to the farm, without having to, do all this manual labor myself or start monitoring farmers? Most times it is advisable for you to partner with an agro company, or rather lease your farmland out to a farmer, and you guys can work on on a particular cut. Okay, maybe when he harvests farm, okay, you are going to take 60-40 or 50-50 or 30-70, depending on which way the agreement works for you guys. So my little advice is, don't wait until you make all the old money or that big money before investing in farmland, because one thing farmland can do for you is no landlord wahala, no fencing deadline, no foundation issue. Yes, we can say no omonile wahala, because before omonile will get to where you are investing your farmland, most times they focus on people that are doing residential property or commercial investment. So we can practically say no omonile wahala, no tenant stress. Farmland is just one of the best you can invest in. The only issue farmland can do to you is pest evasion. And if you work with an agro company, they have ways in which they can eradicate this pest from invading your farmland. One thing again is that farmland are for those who are patient. If you are not patient, you can't invest in farmland. It sounds harsh, but it's kind of the bitter truth. That if you are not patient, you have to be patient for you to realize that farmland takes time to grow, especially if you are working with cash crop. Cash crop takes about 3 to 4 years before you can start harvesting. But if you want to go for perishable crops like pepper, tomatoes, and these ones that take about 6 months, 1 year for them to harvest, then you can also see, if you are not really patient for you to do cash crop, you can go for those kind of crops. So if you're watching me for the first time, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tap on that bell so you can get notification when a new video comes up. In conclusion, if you have actually considered investing into land and you are feeling overwhelmed because of the price of residential and commercial plots, I feel like this is your sign to invest into farmland, because farmland is cheap, it is less stressful, and a very smart asset. So if you have ever invested in farmland or you have a story to share, you can always share a story in the comment section. We are here to listen to you. Don't forget, farmer never goes hungry, and you have the chances of eating more natural food than preservative food. So see you in my next video. Bye, and I love you so much.